What's up? So, I have a topic I'm going to discuss today. It is a very controversial topic, and I've debated whether or not to even record and post this, but I'm doing it, so yay for me, I guess. But I welcome discussion. I love discussing things and hearing different viewpoints and why you feel the way you do. But I ask in the discussion of this topic, because it is so emotionally charged and because it can get very heated very quickly. Please be respectful of everybody that is commenting, whether you're commenting on Facebook, YouTube, however you're seeing this video. Please be respectful. I do not want this to create dissension. I would love for this to facilitate discussion, though. So just be respectful. Feel free to discuss it, though. But if it gets heated, I will gently shut it down, because that's not what this video is intended to do. This video is intended to unite and show love and compassion and mercy and biblical grace for anybody that has dealt with this topic. So the topic I'm going to discuss today is abortion and kind of my personal view on it. I've seen several articles on Facebook recently about abortion with medical diagnoses, like for moms that have received a diagnosis of a incompatible with life disorder for their baby, and so they've made the decision to abort. Now, if you've watched any of my vlogs, you know that this is a very personal subject for me because I have one of those disorders. With Turner syndrome, 98% of girls that begin to develop with this disorder don't even make it to birth. They are miscarried in utero, and so I'm one of the 2%. And because of that, if a diagnosis is made of Turner syndrome in utero, many doctors will recommend abortion. And my parents didn't get that because I wasn't diagnosed till 16. So I didn't have that worst case scenario. My parents didn't have that worst case scenario in my brain, because there is a worst case scenario. For every diagnosis that a doctor can give you, they will give you the worst case scenario because they were trying to prepare you. But I am proof that doctors' diagnoses can be wrong. I am not defined by my diagnosis. That's why this vlog is called That Girl with Turners, not Turner Girl, because my diagnosis doesn't define who I am, and it doesn't have to define your child either. And so in these articles, it discusses the ramifications of their decision, and reading in the comments, my heart was broken for them. And in a little bit, I'm going to read a response to that. I read a blog about a mom who aborted her baby with Down syndrome, and I was just so moved. I had to write a response to it, but I wanted to share it over video as well, because you can see emotion a lot clearer in a video than you can over text on a screen. And I feel it pretty accurately encapsulates my heart for this topic, because whether or not I believe it's right is inconsequential. I am not going to judge anybody that has been through that. I am not going to look down my nose at anybody who has had to make that decision and has made the decision to abort. That's not my call. That's not my call to judge you and say, oh, you're a terrible person, you know, this or that, or blah, 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 blah. That's not my call to make. My call is to love in spite. And plus, I've made my own mistakes. Who's to say that your mistake is worse than mine? It's not. I've made my own mistakes, and so I am going to love you through whatever situation. It doesn't even have to be this. Any situation that a person can walk through, we need to respond in love. We need to respond with grace and mercy. In the Bible, it talks about Jesus hanging out with the lowest of the low in society. And I feel like that's sometimes how mothers who have had abortions can be viewed, especially in the church. And I look at that and I'm like, where is the love of Jesus? Where is the love for the moms who are crying themselves to sleep at night because they had to make this decision? Where is the love for those women that are hurting because of this? And so that's one side of this topic. And then the other side is, I've had a doctor look at me and say, if you get pregnant, I'm not going to let you carry the child. And when I heard that, I was very cautious in the way I responded. But I will always choose life. I am very pro-life. And when I say that I'm pro-life, I don't mean that I just want the baby to be born. I mean that I care for what happens to that baby after. So, I know there's questions out there about, well, what if it's rape? Or what if it's to a teenage mother that can't care for the child? What if it's this? What if it's that? There's so many what ifs out there. And for me, I look at it and say, what is the church doing to help this? What is the church doing to move forward and support these moms that choose to have their babies? What is the church doing to move forward and ensuring a good life for these children? And that's my heart for it. I want to see a good life for those kids. So when I say I'm pro-life, that's what I mean. I don't mean I just want the baby to be born. I mean I want to see a good life. And I am so blessed to be a part of a church that has that same view. There's an organization that is partnered with Gateway called Embrace Grace, and they are fantastic. They do baby showers for unwed moms and gift them with all sorts of amazing things. And they are invested in improving the quality of life for these babies and moms. So, church, it's time to, I don't even know if this is making sense, but it's time to rise up and stop standing in the background and saying, I don't want to touch that. It's too messy. It's too tricky. Because until you say we're going to step up and help, abortion's not going to be stopped. It's always going to be out there, because you can't just say you're pro-life and just be for the baby being born, because it doesn't take away the issue of why they're even considering abortion in the first place.